pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a moment of silent prayer for our country and for our council up here tonight. Amen. All right, it's Tuesday, May 18th, 2021, 5:30 in the evening. We're at the Town of Bath Municipal Center. It's a YouTube for people that aren't here. Could I have the roll call, please?
Scott Murphy.
Here.
Rick Weber.
Here.
John Orr.
Here.
Rose Jackson. Here. Elizabeth Skinner.
Here.
Chris Chapman.
Here.
And Susan Webster. Here.
All right. Before we get started, I want to make an announcement. There was a letter in the paper that was given by a member of this council that was signed by the member of this council that was not voted on by the mayor or the council. We have not decided anything on the Historical Landmarks Commission. We have a meeting on the 20th at the Ice House. What time was that? 5:30. To discuss the Historical Landmark Commission's what they want to do, or what to give people in this community to be able to know what they're asking to do and what they would like to do. Nothing has been passed by this council. Nothing has been passed by this mayor. So with that said, I am going to conduct the meeting at the Ice House on the 20th at 5:30 to address any problems with the Historical Landmark Commission. I don't think tonight is the night to do it in our regular town council meeting. We already have a special meeting set up. That meeting is okay. I have checked with the Municipal League, and the meeting at the Ice House can happen. Does not have to happen in the government building. We will have that meeting, and you all are most certainly welcome to be there at that meeting to address any concerns, anything that you might need to do. But I'm not going to go round and round tonight with the Historical Landmark Commission thing until on Thursday. So we're just not going to do it tonight. We've got town business we have to conduct. That is a meeting that's already been set up as a special meeting to address any concerns. Anybody can speak, and it's.
So you're going to turn these people away?
Yes, I am. Yes,
Effort.
I am. Yes, I am. We have the meetings set up. We are not arguing this evening here. We will on the 20th. You're most certainly welcome at the Ice
You're
House.
not going to let these people
No, I am
speak?
not going to until we have the Ice House. That is
Well,
where this is going to
I
happen.
have to say something.
No, Susan, no, absolutely not.
Why don't people get 5 minutes?
No, we're not going to do this tonight. We're not. I've already got a special meeting set up for this. That was why I set the special meeting up, so we didn't do this and
Not
take up our time.
Everyone can be there.
Well,
on that night,
I am sorry.
and they
That
have
is
obviously things to say.
that is.
And they would like to address
No,
council.
you stirred the
They've
ladder up with the letter. So
You know
no,
what?
You know what?
Other side
That's it. I'm
had
done.
to be-
I'm done.
Other side
We're moving on.
had to be
Persons
brought
before
out.
council we have here is Dorothy Silvers for the Greenway Cemetery.
Uh,
I have a letter that I have written out, and I'd like for you to listen to it. Mayor and Council, my name is Dorothy Silvers and my husband Terry. I'm here this evening as a spokesperson for my deceased family members that are buried in Greenway Cemetery. And so that you're not just thinking of a grave site, these are pictures of some of my family members that are buried in Greenway. And this is my dad and my youngest brother. So these are just a few of them. Okay? It's not just a lot, grass, flowers. There are human beings buried there. Okay, on April 29th, on Thursday, I stopped by Greenway Cemetery. For more than 20 years, I've taken care of my great-grandparents, my grandparents, my aunts, my uncles' graves, and my parents and my baby brother's graves. To my surprise, the graves, the one in the old section and the one in the new section, had been mowed off, including the peonies and the irises. Flowers that have been there for 60 plus years. They're on my great-grandparents, grandparents' graves. On my parents' and brother's grave, there's a pink peony. It's been there for 5 plus years because I put it there myself. It was mowed off. There was also a metal marker that had my brother's name, his date of birth, date of death, and it appeared to be knocked over, mowed over. It was flat on the ground. This was done to my family's lot in Flowers. How many more people have had the flowers mowed off? I came by town hall and expressed my concern to the girls in the office. They took my name and number. I waited for over a week for a phone call. It never happened. So on May the 7th, it's on Friday, I stopped by the office to see if the message had been given out. Yes, it had been. So then I asked to be placed on the agenda for the next council meeting. Well, when I got home, a message from Miss Skidder was on my answer machine. The next day, another message. And I was never building a structure on my gravesite. I tried to use decorative fence around the flowers on the grave sites before, but some asinine moron stole the fence off the graves. Who steals from the dead? I don't know how this is going to be resolved, but my solution is just stay off of the 2 cemetery lots that I have. I've been mowing and weeding them for the past 20 plus years. And then when I went up there and saw the flowers mowed off, I was PO'd. I was so mad and upset. It's just not a grave site. This is my family's. And I've taken care of it since my mom passed away 20 plus years ago. I don't know what the answer is, but something should be done. I checked the price of peonies down at Lowe's, and for a pot of peonies, it's $60. They're expensive. But now there won't be any flowers blooming on the graves, here shortly for Memorial Weekend. Because of some jackass, if I must say so, mowed them off.
Okay. Well, we need to look into this and have a meeting with the mowing company and find out.
I have talked to the mowing company, and I have made it very clear to them that they are to be careful. I was called, I was given an email. It came when I was out of town. I was gone for a week. I left that on my message to you that I had been gone for a week, and that's why I was returning the call when I did. I called you twice, and you never called me back. I contacted the contractor more than once and explained the situation. They apologized. I know that doesn't put the flowers back, but I asked them to be careful and respectful. And I was asked if you could have permission. This is the information I was given. I was asked if you could have permission to put some kind of barrier around your grave. That was my understanding of what your request was, and we do allow that in the cemetery because some people want to take care of the graves themselves, or they have higher standards than we can simply provide. And you are free to do that if that's what you choose to do.
I tried putting fencing around the flowers before to protect them. Like I said, somebody stole it. So there's nothing sacred up there in that graveyard. A friend of mine told me that somebody had stolen the flags off of father's graves. Come on, people.
Well, we have a police department that does patrol. We have people working up there on a continuous basis. We have visitors, and we do what we can to try to show respect to the loved ones buried there. But unfortunately, we can't do everything we wish we could do.
Well, right now, my husband and I, after I left, got on the agenda, we went up to the cemetery and we drove some metal rebar around the flowers, and I'm also going to add some wire to protect the flowers. So if anybody decides they want to mow them off again, they will be able to. I mean, it shouldn't come to that.
I'm sorry that it happened.
The county's been there, I know 60 years, I'm 67 years old, and I can remember as a kid going to the grave with my mom and family and putting fresh cut flowers, and the peonies were big white balls, and they were blooming then, and they've been there at least 60 years.
Is there something maybe the committee can look at in replacing silvers, putting other flowers there where these were destroyed or something like that? That would help,
Susan, but the ones on, my great grandparents and grandparents' grave, some of them are coming back up, but they're not gonna bloom this year. The one on my brother's grave, it doesn't look like it's gonna come back up at all. What really upset me was the marker that Rose Funeral had given us for my brother. It just looked like they ran it over with the lawnmower. I mean, I mow grass at home and weed eat. I take better care of things than what evidently they're doing.
We'll go ahead and call me and we can talk about the mower, or about the marker.
Well, I put the marker back in the ground, and then I put rebar in front of it behind it, and then you're not gonna mow it over again, or they're gonna tear up your blades on your lawnmower. I shouldn't have to do that.
I think I shouldn't have to know.
I think we all understand and are very sorry that this happened, and, if we need to replace something that was destroyed, I think that's certainly something we need to look at and take care of. I understand what it's like to have things destroyed up there, and sometimes they just do. One of the reasons we annexed that in to the town of Bath, so the police would be free to ride around there and like that. I suggested in the past, and the committee may want to look at, one of the reasons I wanted it annexed in was if the committee would like to have stricter laws like in the cemetery on vandalism. Let's say you do something in the cemetery, and you steal something, or you destroy something, we find out the fine is doubled or the penalty is doubled because it is sacred ground. It is our life line too. I understand that. I've had things happen too.
I think,
So it's
I think the
difficult.
only thing we need to do too is meet with our lawn mowing company. I think the council needs to sit down with them too, because you have addressed this to the council. Although the committee has talked with them, I think that we, as a council, need to have the owner of the company come in, and we need to talk to them, because we can't have this happening. I don't want this happening to anybody else, and I'm really sorry this happened to you.
I've been taking care of it, like I said, for 20,
Yeah.
25 years.
And I understand
More.
that, yeah,
And
absolutely.
I came in to see how high the weeds and grass was, because I think it off. And then to see that the flowers and the weeds, everything is gone.
Right. Now, like I said, we're gonna address the problem with the mowing company, and we'll also talk and see what we can do to help you out with, any of the stuff that's been destroyed or anything like that. We'll figure out something to help you out. And I'm really sorry this happened to you, and I will get to the bottom of it with the mowing company. I will address that. I think council is very concerned about what happens up there. We try to do our best to mow the place. Unfortunately, we've had to hire contractors because we've had people before that have gone up there that has worked for the town. If you don't stay there and watch it, it doesn't get done or whatever. So, but I think this is a point in case that we really need to sit down and talk with the owner and say, look, you got to get this under control. We can't have this. I mean, there's flowers that have been up there 60 plus years and have been mowed down, and I would be furious too. If that happened to me or my brother's grave or my parents' grave or whoever. So, like I said, I think we need to get a meeting with our mowing company and sit down and talk with them and tell them that this is very serious. It's sacred ground, and you need to treat it as sacred ground.
And show some pictures of peonies and irises so they know what they're for.
Right.
They're not a flower person,
Yeah.
I'm not being smart, but I'm just.
Yeah, I understand what you're
They
saying.
don't know one flower
Yeah.
from another. From
Yeah,
a
you
weed,
asked my wife stuff that I shouldn't have. So anyway, but like I said, I will get to the bottom of it, and we will figure out what to do to help you out with that up there. And I really apologize for the condition that has happened and, the fencing that's missing, and I will have our police department patrolling up there more to watch and see if there's people up there messing around or whatever. Because I don't want your loved ones' graves to be violated like that. And it's sacred property. People have to understand it's sacred property.
And we are also looking into locking the gates at night again to limit drive-through, because we are having problems with that again. And to discourage, it says right on the signs outside the gates that you're not supposed to go into the cemetery after dusk, or before dawn, so
Yeah.
we are looking into that.
Okay. Well, we definitely need to address the problem, and I will address it. And I'm sorry that happened. I really apologize. So, all right, we're gonna move on. Okay, let me have a review of the minutes, please, and I'll take common consent. Any changes or additions will be added to it. So they looked okay to me, but make sure that there isn't anything on there that anybody sees. I'll take common consent. Okay, all right, common consent. All right, we have the Eastern Panhandle Conservatory, their funding agreement. I think it's in there to be signed. So we need to get that signed and take care of that. So we need to address that. Basically, the same agreement as we had worked out with them last year. This is actually for the mowing and stuff at the dams, right? Yeah, at the dams and all. We along with the county, pay money into the Eastern Panhandle Consortium to help them maintain the grass levels and mowing and everything. So there should be a funding thing there in your packet.
What this is?
Yeah. So,
You have a copy in your packet and then the original is between you and Susan.
What?
The original is between you and Susan.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably the original. So,
Looks like there's two places, no, that's Joel's, that's.
so anyway, this is basically the agreement. We had paid last year, contributed $2,000 to them for the mowing of that area. So, I mean, I would take a motion.
I move that we approve the proposed flood control operation and maintenance funding agreement and the payment of $2,000 for the year towards that, and authorize the mayor to sign that agreement.
I second.
The motion is second to go ahead and do the town of Bath, Berkeley Springs flood control operation maintenance funding agreement with an amount of $2,000 contributed to that. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion passes.
We want to sign it.
Yeah, let's do it sign now, so it's done. Okay, and then we also have,
Two places, I think. And then there's in the back, another. So
that's it, okay, yeah.
So maybe.
So that should be it, I think. If not, we'll take care of it later. So, all right. All right.
the other portion, the 713U agreement was what they had presented to the, county commission.
Right.
They, live streamed that, so we were able to watch it. We also submitted the documentation. It's not due to sign tonight because the paperwork is for the commission office, but they wanted us to discuss that, and it's something that we would be, interested in participating in also.
Is it requesting funding from us?
I don't know.
Support.
I think it's support, yeah. I emailed it out when we got it in from Lynn.
Is that, Chris, is that on the 713U?
Yeah.
For the county commission, that's actually something you guys mind, I can elaborate on.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the 713U agreement is something, I stumbled upon it in state code whenever we were interested in learning, because the box drains in town had been on a cycle to be cleaned out every so often. Dennis Schaefer used to get in there and open up some room for the water to move. So that agreement, the reason that we would like to utilize the Eastern Panhandle Conservation District is because they are well connected with the Army Corps of Engineers, the DEP. So in the event that they determine an area, like the work that was done on Visor Street by the Department of Highways, if there's an area like that where the water's bottlenecking and we approach the Eastern Panhandle Conservation District, they can help us in getting the permits, help us with the plan, help us with the DEP, the Army Corps of Engineers, and help us get us in touch with the necessary parties to help move that process along. Because with us, although 713U gives us the authority to address those types of issues, and dredging, which is a word nobody likes to hear, but it does give us the power within state code to do those things. We're a county government, or a municipality, we don't really have the knowledge to do that. So partnering with the Eastern Panhandle Conservation District, they can bring to us the people that have the knowledge and experience needed to educate us and help us along the process and find a qualified contractor to do that. So that, when the county signed that, was essentially us, allowing them to, by request, to, and sometimes act on our behalf and seek permit for them.
So that would be on a county basis, right, with you guys?
Yeah, and I think the municipality also has that authority per state, per that section of state code. There's just so many loopholes that you have to jump through to get things like that done. So I was surprised when I saw the DOH out there on Visor Street with the riprap repairing that section of Visor Street that needed some sort of support for the bank's erosion. So these guys will essentially help us, determine problem areas and work on solutions, and also potentially assist with funding.
Thank you, Sean.
Yep, you're welcome.
Thanks for clarifying that. Okay, and we do have the meeting that I just mentioned that we're going to participate with everybody that came here this evening. I would really appreciate you all coming to that meeting instead of taking up time that we could this evening. Like I said, I do think that we do need to talk about how the meeting is going to be conducted and what we're actually going to talk about. Are we going to sit and talk about, speak to the laws, the state law that enables this, the town law, so people understand the laws that, That's what
that
this meeting
lead
is, for them to ask the questions that they need to ask.
They're gonna be asking the questions.
We are going to have, we are going to be there, we're going to have a mediator that I'm going to have
We're gonna
there.
have a mediator.
Yeah, I'm going to have Sally Marshall is going to, so that we don't get into a big brouhaha
No, I
all
don't
night.
want that, I don't want that either. I don't want
You
that
know,
either. And
so,
I'm a
well,
citizen of the
Susan,
community,
I
and have
understand.
a right.
I understand, Susan, but what was printed in the paper was not given out by this council to be
No,
put
it
there,
was not.
and we are
It was
not, I am not hashing this out tonight, Susan. It can be done at that meeting, that's why I called a special meeting. You can ask people on council.
How is it gonna be? What are
It
we
is gonna
going to
be-
talk- What are we
we
going to
are
talk
gonna
about?
conduct-
Are we going to go through the laws, the enabling laws?
We are gonna go through everything that the
line by line of the
Landmark
draft?
Commission wants to approach us with.
So what-
And then, people of the community, the people of community that's sitting here can ask their questions, and we will try to answer it. If we can't answer it that night, we will get an answer
And what
for
I
you.
want to know is, why is it that the draft ordinances cannot be put on the town website?
We've never done it
and
before.
be-
Susan,
This is what
we're not
the
hashing,
meeting is
we're not
about.
hashing this out tonight. We're not doing it.
Now,
The meeting
Mayor,
is on the
this isn't right
20th.
that people
No.
can't see the laws
No.
that they're going to be talking
They
about.
can request copies.
They
from
can
the-
request, we got copies here, they can come in and get the copies, they can read it anytime they want. It's not going on the website,
Why?
because I'm not putting it on the website until it's passed. They can come in, they can pick up paper copies, I am, you
Pass
know,
the law and then
Well.
let the people read the law.
no, they can
This
come in and get it
obviously-
before.
It obviously means
No.
a lot to people. It obviously.
All right, we're moving on. Bath
Obviously
development,
care
bath development.
I made it. It was very nice to see everybody out and about. It's nice for a change. I'm Lisa with the BDA,
What does that stand for?
the Bath Development Authority. What have we been up to? I know we've been a little quiet. We have been working, in connection a little bit with the town with a new website, updating, more interactive. We are working on that with an intern, so that is in the wings. Currently right now with all the changes of COVID that have went on, everybody kind of got bogged down. So right now we're actually looking, since we don't have anything major on our agenda, how to support the other organizations in there. Because that's what the BDA is part of that. So with that being said, we're also still going through the survey that we did, the report that we got. We're also looking for ideas from other people, other groups, of anything they picked out of there that they would like to see done. If we can't do it, another group possibly can. So we've been talking a lot and doing a lot, getting ready. And like I said, the website is there. And I do have to throw this out to the council, since we are under the council. I have to state publicly that the letter that was put in, even though the BDA was mentioned, that is not the opinion of the BDA. We have not taken any side, whether to or pro. But I do have to put that out publicly.
Organization that I'm members
But people have read it and actually assumed that we were one way or the other. The BDA at our last meeting, I've actually stated, we are neutral. If we have the information to give out, we will gladly post information on the website. But as far as this issue is with the town at this
of.
point.
If I give you the draft ordinances, we can pass, put them on the website.
They're not going on the website. No, absolutely not. There's paper copies that can be given out, people can read. It doesn't need to be on the website.
On the town website or any Facebook?
Yeah. I guess any, I mean, you know, I don't understand.
That
Count-
would,
Council,
Susan, if that is something
I-
that you would like, that would
I
be
would
something to
like to
discuss
know
with the
how
town
to-
council. If I have their approval, then I would also take it up with the BDA and get their approval.
I'll tell you what, let's do this. I would entertain a motion to go ahead and put this stuff on our website if council so desires to do that.
Wanna make that motion?
Okay,
Why would we do that when the draft is not the final version? Why would you post that?
Frankly, if you mark draft, I think it's really, it's stuff that says draft on it.
How are people gonna come to a meeting to ask questions if they've never seen the ordinances and
A
the
lot of people
materials?
just-
Well, we did it today. Without seeing anything. We're curious.
And I think when you can ask the people that are comprise the HLC, you're gonna get a whole different picture than what you read in the paper.
Well, everybody is entitled to their own opinion.
Absolutely.
This is still America, and that's my
we don't disagree
opinion.
with that. We're not saying
Yeah,
that at
and
all.
no, you're
We're not saying that at
absolutely
all. Absolutely
shutting-
not.
Shutting down.
Are the versions of the proposed, of the ordinances that you're speaking of, even the ones that we, I mean, is that what we are going to take up for pivot change? I mean,
What, you know, we have draft ordinances on the notice of the meeting, draft, okay, what draft ordinances? If I was a person that had never been on this council, never understood this, never studied this, never heard of it before, I would like to know, what are they? Can I see them so I can read them and understand and have some intelligent questions to
Right.
ask?
Well, I have a
think it's unfair,
I have a
and
motion on the
think
floor
it's-
and I don't have a second.
I think it's
I
disrespectful.
have a motion on the floor, I don't
I
have a
will
second.
second it.
Okay, I have a second. Now we can go into discussion here.
They're available upon request. We've never, it's out of practice. It's a new, that would be a new precedent you're setting in terms of how we follow these things. They can come in and request them from Sharon and receive a copy.
Obviously something.
And I don't see how we can keep the DBA necessarily from personally, if they want to post them, posting them, but I don't see why the council and the chairman should do it if it's not in our practice to do it.
I don't understand if, I think the most important thing in government today, any level, is transparency, openness. If we're gonna be discussing an issue that people might not understand, I don't care what side of this issue on, people should be able to look at it, and I think this council really bends over backwards to make things convenient for our constituents, and I don't see what the big deal is about putting something on the website that's not correct. Why is that a problem?
And it's never changed in the 4 years. It's never, not a word has been changed, that nobody has asked us to change. This has been continually proposed. This is what historic landmarks wants. I understand it. I understand it. But not everybody does. I would like to, if I was going to a meeting and just cold and walking in and like.
Where did the drafts come from?
Where they came from, historic landmark commission.
This is what.
And they brought them to us 4 years ago until, literally, until, I would say March, not a person on this council uttered one word ever in support of certificates of appropriateness. As a matter of fact.
All right, I'm gonna call,
Listen
No.
to.
I'm gonna call
in
the
back.
question. You have had more than enough time. The question that is on the table is whether or not we're gonna put these on the website. I will call the vote.
I'm not sure you can call the question, the town council member has to call the question.
No, I can call the question. I'm calling the vote on it.
Okay.
So we're just not gonna go round and round tonight on this. If you want it on there and the council votes to put it on there, I have not one bit of problem doing it. I am all about letting people know. I figured a paper copy would be easier because there's a lot of people in this community that don't use computers. They don't go on the computer. They don't know the website, but that's fine. If the council so moves, we will do it. So,
Well, I would note that I think tonight's other ordinance and things should be posted on the website as well.
That's
So
fine.
people have the saying that ordinance be tabled until the public gets to see that too. Because I think this is a new
There's other
precedent.
reasons why that happens.
Right, yeah, but that's one additional reason that can be discussed later. But I think this is a new thing we're doing and it should be handled consistently.
Let me add one other thing to this. This is a document that was generated by the HLC, not the town council. So why should we post it? Hasn't been
And if it's
approved.
4 years old, it has changes on it.
No, it doesn't. No,
Yes, it does.
not that.
It
not
does.
this effort.
Correct.
Mr. Mayor, in all due respect, I personally think you're playing odds.
I'm not hiding anything. You're out of order anyway. So you're out of order. And if you think I'm hiding something, then you tell people not to vote for me come vote time. That's all I got to say. So anyway, I'll call the question. All those in favor?
But discussion, are we saying that both parties have the right to post what they want to post, right? Is that-
No, just what the Historical Landmarks Commission has introduced, want to be proposed at our meeting, that they want us to vote on the past at town council. That's it.
What requirements are you going to have to stop anybody saying, I want to post this on the website? How am I going to
Correct.
critique what information is given to me if it's considered
Yep.
public information?
It is public information for the ethics commission. The only things that aren't public information are FOIA exemptions. Other than that, it's perfectly fine to put it. It's been handed to us as public officials.
Provided to the council
It's
as a
been
proposal.
provided and re-provided and re-provided. I've never been given another version of this, if there ever is. And as a matter of fact, we were just given this again in January. And as of February, there wasn't anyone on council that wanted to pursue it. And now here we are arguing and upset.
That's
But
fine.
there's never been
Okay.
anything
This
else.
is going to be
And-
repeated over and
right.
over again. If
Uh,
they're done.
Like I said, We voted. Anybody against?
I am.
I've got 2 against, and it still passes. So, council has said that they will put it on the website. So,
Well, I'm glad,
you know,
I'm glad, because they.
but it needs to be marked as a draft. It is not an ordinance that people can go on there and read and figure, hey, this is what we're all about.
That way, Mayor, that way they'll have some, be able to ask some intelligent questions. They can go on the.
That's fine. I'm ready
West
for
Virginia.
intelligent questions. I mean, I've just been
They can go
accused of
and
trying to hide
they can-
something here, and I'm not trying to hide a thing. All I want to do is be done with this.
They can look,
You
and
know?
I'm not the one dragging this out. But
Yeah.
I asked to make a decision on this a long time ago.
And
All right,
with-
we're done. Let's move on.
And with the
Get it
BDA,
on the
I will
website.
send that out for general consensus to the group and hear back from them with posting and sharing it. Because with everything going on, I will make sure the group is in a general consensus.
Thank you. Anything else, Lisa?
It is just really nice to see you all. I'm out of the office.
All right, we'll move on. Staff developments, we just had the report, Parks and Recs. Their next meeting is the 19th at 7 p.m. Looks like it's the county commissioners, all approved. The planning commission, since everybody's sitting here on the count, it's on the planning commission. Is there anything for planning commission? Okay. Rails and trails.
Okay, you have, in front of you, the, change order that allows work to happen after DOH is done with remediating parcel 1 or lot. That's Lisa.
Lydia.
Lydia Word. That's the second piece of what we've already signed, the lot change, so that's okay. And as I said, we have requested county funding from there for hotel that will actually provide that fund. That's the work that DOH refused to do. Refused to let the county write off as part of their share. So the county's helping us do the work. We're gonna actually rule that because it's your property and you're responsible for the DR team. And we're gonna inject the local order to the DOH process. Yeah, we're gonna have a meeting next week. Where we're gonna discuss that. The thing that's going on, is still going on, DOH is working out the funding and agreement that Stephanie's working on with them. Until that's agreed to, nothing happens in the contract. There's no time money involved in that. Moving on to streetscape, we're gonna we're in the process of putting phase 4B together as a final application for grant money. Sally Marshall's working on that too. That's due June 7th. At your next meeting on the 1st, we will have the package, and there will need to be a resolution from the council supporting that, which you do it all the time.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff to support what we're working on. I think we have a decent phase 4B. We've been out to Thrasher to talk about drawings that were a secret league that we never told DOH about. But we got a lot there, and that's what we also worked on in the park. And that will also come before you for your signature and the support resolution. Another funding review. Those are so much fun. That's it.
All right.
We did get an update that I do every couple of weeks when we have a meeting. They want to update on what's going on. Hopefully.
Thank you, we
Any questions?
appreciate that.
Well, yeah, any questions, just let me know.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, any questions to ask Pete?
You said that they were talking about fundraising, raise.
We need a fundraising process.
Okay.
Figure out what we can do, but the town has got to build a stash for the gas station. Folks, helping out.
All right. Moving on, train depot. Have you heard anything from John? We need to contact him because we need to figure out. what's
Okay.
going on. This is getting kind of ridiculous now, so, and we need to call him from the old office. He knows if he can't get somebody to help him
Right.
And hopefully get that thing rolling. So, Landmarks Commission, I guess they're having a meeting this evening at the Granary. So
And I
they're
do-
right now.
I think that's gonna kind of better place also, rather than the grand rate. I'd like to see our groups meet in other places, unless that offends you, or offends somebody. And I'm glad to think, kind of, notice these meetings before the day before. I know a member that just got noticed today, that there was a meeting at the granary. And I just feel that public bodies should meet.
Well, that's that situation.
Since we haven't endorsed them, why do they have to abide by any of our rules?
They are appointed by us,
Yeah.
they are appointees of our town council, therefore they're a government entity that is to meet in public.
They normally have their meeting next week, but because we have the meeting scheduled at the Ice House, which is where they normally have their meeting, that's why they had to move it a week, because there was a conflict.
But
In the future,
government facility,
right.
please.
Well, I have talked to the municipal league, talked to Miss Miller up there today. She did actually get back to me. She left me a message and said that it is fine to hold our meetings in non-governmental buildings. We can hold it at the Ice House with no problem at all. Uh, They, they check to make sure, explain the situation. We didn't have enough room in our town hall to hold the meeting. I have a lot of people there probably. She said that as long as we're safe with COVID and everything, that, that venue is fine. So there's nothing in the state ordinance that she could find anywhere in her, the lady that she called, which is an attorney, said there's nothing that says that our meetings, at our committees or whatever, have to have their meetings on government property.
But the only thing I would say, Scott, is that at the beginning of this session or the last session, you, made it very clear to DEA that you wanted them to meet here, and they observed their independence and also contacted the ethics commission and said, we want to have enough room for the public to come. That's why they have their meetings at the courthouse.
Right, we tried to have a
But
courthouse.
you had said, I'd like all of our groups to meet here at town hall.
If possible, but with the,
But otherwise.
yeah, with the venue, and Sharon did try, she called the courthouse, was booked up for the dates that we had, the date that we had, so,
No, I understand, I'm just.
right, and that's why it got down there, because most of the time we do use the courthouse, or do the commissioner's office, but we could not do it this time, so that's why we had it down there. But I,
That's why I contacted the Board of Education and had something set up at Warms Place Middle School.
it doesn't matter. The way I look at it is, they're both basically the same venues. It's room for them to be able to, for us to spread out, and, have the meeting. Like I said, I did get a clarification. There is no state law that says that we have to hold, a meeting, in a government facility, or even like Board of Education. So, like I said, I just.
Tomorrow night gonna be YouTube or Zoom?
Thursday night.
Thursday night, excuse me.
20.
Well,
So,
let me ask you about that too. I mean, what was the common consent and what we have gone forward with and agreed to in the minutes, and that's what we talked about the last meeting, was having special meetings. And generally there are minutes and there's, attendance and like this. Is this not a special meeting now? Is it
this
just
is a
a,
special meeting.
it's a,
It's for us to get us to gather information and for the public to find out what's going on. And we'll set up
is it gonna be anyone there to explain it all to people that have questions?
Susan,
Well,
enough. It's going to be for people to talk and be able to get information, and for the council to make an informed decision. you just keep pressing this and pressing this. And of course, your husband has already told me that I'm hiding something, so I'm not hiding the thing, it's to the public, anybody can come there,
It's the perception that people see, the perception.
whatever, Pete.
It's
You,
the
you,
perception.
you know it all, don't you? Yeah, right, okay. Well, we're moving on. I'm tired of arguing this point. The meeting's on the 20th, at 5:30 in the evening at the Ice House. Be there and we'll get things out. Yes.
This is my first time ever being at a council meeting or being involved, and so my question is there a regular way that you put it in the paper or? how
Yeah,
would
it's already in the
I look?
paper. It was put in the paper. It's been announced.
So that, but is
so
that is where I would look for
yeah,
information for
right.
when you were having?
We're on our website, but we have to, this is not usually the way a council meeting goes. It's just this, it's a hot topic for everybody. And, we need to do it
I got that.
one place and have everything.
I just
So,
wanted to know
but
where
yeah,
to look for that.
yeah, look in the
information.
Morgan Messenger. It's published in there. Our town clerk had put it in there. It's also on the website. It's out here on the wall. So it's, and we have to do it within so many days. We can't just, call meeting tonight for tomorrow night.
No, I
It has
figured
to
you
be
meet once a month. or
Right.
once a week.
Wait, yeah.
This,
I had it
this
in there.
meeting is the first and third Tuesdays of every month.
Oh, okay. Well, thank
Yeah, is that what you
you. That's all I was
needed?
looking for,
At
just general
5:30.
Information
Yeah.
on when you meet and how to find out.
Yeah, 5:30, the first and third Thursday of every month.
Thank you.
Tuesday, I'm sorry. I said Tuesday first time.
Okay. Well, let's move on. Clerk and reporters report. Madam Clerk, do you have anything?
The only thing I have is, election update. We have scheduled the training for the poll workers for the 26th and the 27th. Last day for absentee ballot applications is the 26th. And the first day for early voting will be the 29th. So we're moving right along with that.
Sharon, are you gonna, the training, can that be, what if someone can't make one meeting, can the training be on both days if necessary?
It's going to be
It's gonna work out
yes,
like that.
it's 10 o'clock on the 26th or 3 o'clock on the 27th.
Okay, I thought it was one day or the other, they had to.
No.
You good?
I'm good.
All right, thank you. Reporter? Okay, let's move on to pay some bills.
Okay, motion to pay the town of Bath bills in the amount of $35,781.14.
Have a motion and a second on the floor to pay the town of Bath, bills in the amount of $35,781.14. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Motion to pay the Berkeley Springs water bill in the amount of $15,196.44.
Have a motion and a second on the floor to pay the Berkeley Springs Waterworks bills in the amount of $15,196.44. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Motion to pay the cemetery bills in the amount of $3,030.
Have a motion and a second on the floor to pay the Greenway Cemetery bills in the amount of $3,030 even. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Motion to pay the North Berkeley Rails to Trails bills in the amount of $5,812.
Have a motion and a second on the floor to pay the rail trail bills in the amount of $5,812 even. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Let's move on to tree board. John, do you have anything for us?
Nothing more other than the next meeting on the 26th.
Okay. Bring it to, okay. All right. Public safety,
We had talked about, sorry, we had talked about, vacation times and, trying to put in a policy to change it over a little bit for the public safety and the police. So that's in the works. We'll just started the top episodes on it, so. And, Tony gave me the list of Berkeley Springs April totals. Criminal investigations were 8, arrests were 5, 1 felony, 1 misdemeanor, DUI 0, accidents 3, citations 94, warnings 32, transports 2, papers served 1, canine usage 3, and parking tickets 140.
chief,
Couple things, starting May 31st, I put down myself, part-timer, Tony Ray, East of the Academy, on May 31st, they called me to continue our policy for that, zero tolerance, zero jail. I don't know, many of y'all heard, my first week back last week, after being sick, Assistant Sheriff Department, K9, had apprehension with a bite. Actually, 2. Deputy got accidentally bit with his arm from the low. That was fairly eventful. Also, we talked about some signs on this street, streetscape, people parking north, down, south, east, and west. We never had an issue there until all that was redone.
Yep.
And I'm gonna say something about the meeting on Thursday. Okay. I'm retired. I'm not 6 Thursday morning. I understand that you have a moderator. This is good. I want everybody to know. If you're out first, I will warn you 1 time. Second time, I will be with you. As a government public meeting, I have that right. So I just want the public, everybody to know that we're there for a meeting. It's not going to turn into a shouting match and yelling match for what non-profit you exist. I'll rest assured that the same rest of the
Well, that's good, that gives us some parameters.
Now, I got a feeling I know how it's going to go. I'm going to be kicking people out because I look for it to get loud. And it's not going to happen. Plain and simple. But that's like, and here, what gets loud. People from the government building, when they get loud, it's recorded. Real simple. It's calm meeting. Everybody talk it out. There's disruptions. If one person's talking, disruption, getting loud, I'll warn you 1 time. Second time, I'm going to plain and simple. Okay.
thank you, Tony, thank you, chief. Okay, let's move on, to cemetery.
I appreciate the opportunity for members of the town council to work with me and the contractor. I know Mrs. Silver was very upset, and I really do try to work with people to help them address issues themselves like this every week. Not with problems with serious, but with questions about grades or whatever. And this is something that's very, very sensitive to people. We have to really honor and respect their feelings when we're talking about grades of their loved ones. So it's a very sensitive issue that we have to work with. So I think it would be a good idea for us to sit down with Justin. I do want the town council to recognize the fact that we have a company that's doing more work in the hours that they really have. There's more work to do there that can really be done in 60 hours. Doesn't excuse what happened, but part of the problem is we have such a limited budget and limited hours that they have to work that sometimes they're pushing themselves and they're not being as careful as they should be. So maybe that's something the town council could also think about in light of this problem that we have. Otherwise, I go up to the cemetery every 4 or 5 days. It's looking quite good, but like everybody else's grass, it continually has to be cut. I do want to make a public thank you to the Cub Scouts that came out on Saturday to make it shine and work in the cemetery. They picked up a lot of sticks and dead branches and so forth on the graves in the old section. It makes it easier to mow, and it makes it neater and more respectful for the families. So I have to shout out to the Boy Scouts who showed up to help us make it shine. And that's all I have for now.
Is there anything to prevent you from blocking the cemetery gates at night, or do you have a process you have to go through to do that?
I have a call into Rodney to ask him if he has a key to the gates and the copies made. I was gonna ask a neighbor that lives next to the cemetery if he would be willing to lock the gates at night or at dusk, whatever. If he can't do it, then I'll make further arrangements. Maybe Rodney can unlock the gates in the morning first thing when he comes on. If a neighbor can't lock them at night, I'll make a point of doing it myself. He's done it on a regular basis. Because it really, we are starting to have a problem again with cars racing through the cemetery, cutting through,
And
they're
that's
tired of
considered
traffic.
private property, or that's considered public property?
It's public property, but there are fines actually for vandalism in the cemetery, speeding in the cemetery, that stuff that comes to pass when they establish the corporation. So, no, it is the largest piece of land owned by the town itself, it's a public cemetery. So, they are public roads, but they are for visitors to the cemetery. They are not to be used as a means of getting off 522, to your home back there faster than you would otherwise be. It's not supposed to be a
Shortcut.
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 That's
Yeah,
shortcut.
not supposed to be a shortcut.
It's not supposed to be a shortcut.
Right. Thank you, Beth. Public Works.
We got a new garbage truck, new to us. And we are going to keep the old one for two things, for a backup, which is a good thing in case something should happen to do, which I don't think is gonna happen at all. And we are also beginning initial discussions to possibly use that other truck for some kind of recycling thing in town. So that's where we are with that. All the other equipment, public works is working fine. We have a full crew, I should say that, but we do, and I saw them today. Everything's coming fine with public works for right now, so that's it.
I've got a lot of good reports on the fellows that are doing the trash removal. I had 3 or 4 people come up to me downtown the other day, said, hey, whatever you got working, keep them, because they're doing an excellent job making sure it gets trash picked up, going around and taking care of things, mowing and everything. So I just want to give a shout out to the guys that are working for us in our public works. I mean, we as here, we don't realize that they're out here sometimes hours at nighttime when the storms. We don't realize they're out here in the morning at 6:30 picking up garbage when we're just getting ready to go to work or getting home from work or however. And I'm very thankful that we've put a crew together. Hopefully we can keep that crew that is respectful to our people in our community. And they, like I said, they've been given really good reviews by several people that have just been on the street and stopped me. So it's kudos to the people that we've got on board right now. So we'll settle on that. So let's move on down to ordinance.
Okay, well, we've already had some discussion about, and I'd make a motion that we table the first reading of the demolition of non-emergency structures. With that motion.
I second.
I have a motion second on the floor to table the structural demolition ordinance 2021-05-01. Any discussion? All those in favor?
I would ask that this go back to ordinance for consideration. I think there's some question as to whether ordinance committee.
That's fine. That's fine. If we table, if it doesn't come up the next meeting in any way, then we would just
and then it does go forward. It
Okay, hey, come on.
All right, well,
Enough,
yeah,
enough,
that's right,
enough. Rick,
It
please,
is enough.
please, Rick. We don't need this tonight.
The only other thing that I would bring up, and I brought up the finance this morning, is I did have another discussion with, county planner, Alex Moore, and, Stephanie Colomon, the county administrator, about their, building permit process and everything that they do. They have said that they will meet with us, go over there at a certain time, and go over their whole process, so we understand. They mentioned and would move towards, let's follow the county lead in this, because it's going to be published. And, what we talked about this morning, maybe after July 1, is that?
Yeah, make it the week after July.
Okay, that's all right.
I've got one more thing under orders. I talked to Danny last week. He did everything that he thought that he was supposed to do. He's on Sharon's computer, he said, so it's just supposed to look at that. What we hired him to do, and it's good, we can make copies and have that to everybody else.
Okay.
I said it's been done since January when I talked to him last.
Okay,
Okay.
that's, okay. Yeah, let's get on that, make sure that that's all taken care of, so. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Waterworks.
The water committee met on Monday. A couple things of note. The right-of-way work continues. We're getting close to getting that done, and the hope is that we'll be able to go out for bid for the next phase of the water line replacement project.
Okay.
That's what Ron still is
Shooting for.
The other thing is for the $250,000 relief money that we are supposed to be receiving at some point. We did talk about putting together sort of a list of projects that we think might apply towards that. I've asked Rick to also consider from the public works side, and the police department has provided a list as well, so we'll kind of come together and look at what projects we would like to see. I think would benefit the county most, and see how we can spend that money. So, that's all I have.
Okay, all right. Well, come to the last part of the meeting. Will I ask if anybody has signed up to speak? They have, and I will need the list. Do we need to step back out?
I did, but I put my name. But I do have a question about broken parking meters,
The break.
and they're gone.
All right, we have nobody for the 18th. Nobody has signed up. Broken parking meters, we are missing one. Is that what you're saying, or the one that's
That was when the
was
truck
run
drove-
over?
Yeah, that one.
That was going to be replaced, goes down, got the insurance, so.
Yeah, along with the light pole as well, the light pole.
Yeah.
And there's others that never have to worry, priority, and that's, right now, that's not high on my list, but it's there. Once I get my truck completed, it'll be easier for me to close stuff off and.
Tony, do you have a list of the ones that aren't working
Uh,
that you're aware of?
I know there's two that still need to be put back at, in front of Martin McGee.
Yeah.
I know there's some on Fairfax Street that we have to get into, but that is, so I think there's four. Don't even want it
I know I think there's one to check in front of the library, 37.
Yeah, I mean, if they can get them to me, I'll try, I'll keep on seeing. I haven't forgotten about them, I know they're there, and it's,
A long time ago, when Larry was still here doing streetscapes, we talked about painting the curb, the yellow curves. And because I almost daily tell people that they can't park in front of my shop. But it's not, even though there is a sign there, but it's only this high, and if somebody's parked there, they can't see it. And the other night, there was a limo
It was there for probably 2 hours.
Yeah, we kind of, it was the problem the
Oh,
other
okay.
night, so we
But I
kind of,
mean, it was right in front of the fire hydrant. There
yeah,
was somebody sitting in it. It was like, just,
yeah.
you know,
Well,
go in the
like
parking
I
lot.
said, prom kind of overlooked it a little bit, but like I said, we're going to have to, Public Works, we need to discuss whether or not we need to paint those curbs. We tried signage, we have a problem with
They're
Congress
allowed
Street.
in one thing.
Yeah, we really didn't want to paint them. I mean, it looks better, but the thing about it is on Congress Street right now, we've got a parking both ways on Congress Street since we did the upgrade of the sidewalks, and also we may end up, I don't know if signage will do it or not. So,
There are curves that need to be repainted, it's hard to see, which I'm planning on doing that. When we can in June, I'm going out and painting.
all right, I'll get with Rodney too, because you know, his crew can do some things.
Some of the newer ones, before we get a final say so, it's kind of not fun. Touch them until we figure out what I want to do.
So like I said, you know, if we try signage, if that don't work, then we're gonna have to paint it, unfortunately. I didn't want to
I
because
want them painted.
then we gotta keep it up every year, you know, they get dull and they get scraped up and it just looks like, but like I said, Public Works, just, we need to see what, I guess we could get with Tony and maybe we'll get with, Keith, our streetscapes. Yeah, and see whether or not that they would have a problem with this, because we still have a problem. I noticed people are parking down there on Fairfax and Washington Street there where there's not even a meter. So,
Yeah,
so if you guys can set that up and give it to people, I would appreciate it. All right. Okay. I would entertain a common consent if nobody else is on the list to return the common consent.
You don't look like that? Huh? Oh. I